If you caught my video on Monday, you probably know that I'll be starting a Star Wars book club. And today is the very first video. I'm John Berry, and welcome to the inaugural episode. You can say an inaugural video, not the announcement video, but the very first proper video of my Star Wars X-Wing book club series for Star Wars Talk here on my channel. So, just to give you guys a quick little plot recap if you have not read Chapter 1 yet, or you don't have it available to read Chapter 1. What goes on in Chapter 1 is that our main character, Corran Horn, is in a training simulation, and we get to learn about him a little bit, like his skill and maybe even his attitude as a pilot. Some of the other members who are training alongside him, and then we also kind of get some things set up for plots that will be unfolding later on. Now, because I've read this book like 5 times, so I know where most of this stuff is going, but it's nice being able to pick up on that stuff. So, as I said, Corran Horn is our main character. Normally the first chapter begins with your main character, which stands to reason, or somehow introduces your main character. So we're introduced to Corran Horn here, so we learn that he's a top trainee for the New Republic. For Rogue Squadron in particular, kind of figure out from the title, but it's also mentioned that Wedge Antilles is the person who's supervising all this training. So it stands to reason. And then we also learn in the character, let me make sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly, I think it's Jace. No, B-R-O-R Jace. That's a hard name to pronounce. But yes, let's just go on by his last name because that's what Corran does. Jace. Which sounds like a better first name than last name, but oh well, it's Star Wars. What do you expect? So we learned that he's like the second best, or no, the only real rival for Corran Horn in this training. And then of course we also learn the timeline by, Corran commenting on how good Wedge Antilles is, mentioned that he has 2 Death Stars painted on the side of his X-Wing. Which not only establishes, kind of, like, they all see him and Luke Skywalker as, like, the best pilots ever. And they make that reference, like, no, you're not, like, the very first line is, and I quote, "You're good, Corran, but you're no Luke Skywalker," unquote. That's the first line. So that's kind of established, like, Luke Skywalker's, like, what everyone measures a good pilot to, him and Wedge Antilles. And then, of course, later in the chapter, a mysterious TIE fighter is being piloted, and Corran assumes that it's Wedge Antilles because the pilot is so good. And, but it's not, and we do learn that. But it's kind of neat, because Corran Horn doesn't know who is piloting the others, who are piloting the TIE fighters and TIE bombers in the training scenario. Because they're being piloted by other trainees, but he doesn't know who specifically. And when he assumes that one TIE bomber is being piloted by Jace, he makes that assumption based off, the pilot's skill and all that, and its audacity and like going after him a little bit. So he makes that assumption, and then the book's grammar continues with that. So, Jace's fighter, Jace is using the possessive when referring to that other fighter that Corran Horn has assumed Jace is piloting. But when that second TIE fighter that's powered by an extremely skilled pilot comes up, it doesn't do that. Well, Corran Horn makes the assumption that it's Antilles who's piloting that, figuring nobody else is there who could be as good or if not even better than him, except for possibly Jace, which he still thinks Jace is not as good of a pilot as him. But figures this person is even better, must be Wedge Antilles, trying to go after me specifically to test my skill or something like that. That's his mindset. It's not quite stated that way, but that is what his mindset is getting at in here. So, but when you are reading it, the book itself, the narrative of the book doesn't make that assumption. Only Corran Horn does, which is an interesting contrast. So that means when Corran Horn made the assumption that Jace was piloting that TIE bomber, he was correct because the book's narrative took his position, clearly. But in here, with this TIE fighter, Corran Horn makes the assumption that Wedge Antilles but the book doesn't. The book's narrative doesn't continue with that assumption. And then we later learn it's somebody else, and the only clue of his identity is the fact that he has, let me make sure I get this correct. Yeah, because that person had a Haas, Bakura, and an Endo tab on his black jumpsuit. That's all we're given, and that the Endo tab had a black dot in the center, which signified that he survived the Death Star run. That's all we're getting at who this mysterious pilot is. Of course, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't read that far into the book yet, but I do know who that is, and it's not what Luke Skywalker, and it's not Regent Tilly. That's all I'm going to tell you. Plus, if it was Luke Skywalker, we would have been told. Makes sense. But, like, that's all that we know. And then, it wasn't until Cohen saw that pilot himself that he realized it wasn't Regent Tilly, who was piloting that one TIE fighter. And then, of course, we learned that Cohen, through some dialogue, that he had a background in security, and that another one of the trainees had a background as a lawyer, and they're both, like, trying to figure out who this other pilot is, and another one of the trainees just said to go. Now, forget that you're a former security and a former lawyer, and just know that you're currently pilots. So that's kind of neat, that dialogue establishes about those two characters, and some of the other characters as well. And that's what's kind of nice, is like, there's really no exposition, which is not bad necessarily. Like, the opening crawl is always pure exposition, but it's done right. Sometimes when you get exposition, it doesn't always work out, but when you get the necessary details through character dialogue, it works out pretty well. And so it does a good job here. So, of course, Admiral Akbar's name dropped and that stuff. And there's some other things, like, Cohen Hone, is taught about being one of the best pilots, and he succeeds at this training scenario, which is a notoriously difficult scenario that very few are able to successfully complete. And they stated that he does complete it, which is a clue to us audience that he really is a very good pilot, which I think is a very good thing for us to establish. When you have a book all about pilots, it's kind of a good idea to actually show us or tell us that the pilot is good. And we were told that Cohen is a good pilot at the start, but not as good as Luke Skywalker, and then we were shown that he really is a very good pilot. We still don't know if he's to the level of Luke Skywalker yet or not, but we know he is a top-ranked pilot. So, and it's shown to us by him passing the scenario that we are told is notoriously difficult, which I think is some good, not necessarily world building, but character building and character development. It's established who Cohen is, and we're also established to know that he had a pretty good relationship with his father as well. So, where else is this all going to head? Well, you just gotta wait to read the rest of the book to find out. But we got set up, so I already know a lot of the story arcs and where they're going, but clearly there's going to be a rivalry between Cohen and Jace being the two highest skilled trainees for, I'm guessing, Rogue Squadron is my guess. Actually, I know it is, just there's going to be a rivalry between them. There's going to be figuring out who this mysterious pilot is. And perhaps maybe even some more comparisons between Cohen and Luke Skywalker. Something along there. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a story or a story arc involving Cohen and his relationship with his father, who at this point we can only assume is no longer in the picture. Dead, missing, we don't know yet. As established in Chapter 1. That stuff will be established in later chapters and even later books. Not everything's going to be established in the first book, and they'll continue on through the other books as well. But that's where I'm going to leave you guys with the first episode with my Star Wars X-Wing book club. I'm going to have a very busy week this next week, so we're again only going to be doing one chapter. and that chapter will be Chapter 2. I hope to see you guys next week as well. As I said, you can read along if you want. If not, I'll be doing a brief recap at the start of every video, but I encourage you to read along if you are able to. So thank you for watching this latest book club, or this first book club video I should say. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you can be notified when my latest book club videos come out. The plan is for them to come out every Friday. Anything else I have to say is, of course, please do consider checking me out on social media, links on the description. Same thing goes for supporting me on Patreon, just something to consider, as it does help me to improve my channel. And the only other thing I have to say is, as always, thank you for watching, and have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you, always.